What if the dead refused to rest, and the proof was locked behind stone and centuries of fear? Tonight, we tear open the vault of one of history's most chilling enigmas, the Chase Vault of Barbados. Imagine a crypt so secure, so heavy with secrets, that it took a team of men just to move the marble slab. Yet time after time, the coffins inside were found violently tossed, overturned, and wedged against the door, as if something unspeakable was trying to escape. No signs of forced entry. No evidence of flooding. Just an unbroken seal and a mystery that has haunted generations. This isn't a ghost story whispered in the dark. It's a documented case that terrified colonial authorities, baffled investigators, and left an entire island gripped by dread. Was it a curse, revenge from beyond the grave, or something even more disturbing, something that defies every rational explanation? Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see why the Chase Vault is more than legend. It's a real-life nightmare that refuses to be buried. Before we descend deeper into this darkness, a quick but important question. Are you subscribed to this channel? Most people who watch our videos aren't. If you want to keep uncovering the world's most disturbing true mysteries, stories that will haunt your thoughts and challenge your beliefs, hit that subscribe button now. Don't miss out on the secrets we're about to reveal. Ready? Let's open the vault. But be warned, once you know what happened, here you'll never look at a sealed tomb the same way again. I first heard about the Chase Vault when I was researching unsolved mysteries for a late-night podcast. At first, it sounded like just another ghost story. One of those tales that float around the internet, gathering dust and exaggeration. But the more I read, the more unsettling it became. The Chase Vault, a centuries-old burial crypt on the island of Barbados, wasn't just the subject of local legend. It had drawn the attention of colonial authorities, historians, and skeptics for over 200 years. The story wasn't about flickering lights or shadowy figures. It was about something far stranger. Heavy lead coffins, sealed inside a stone vault, found repeatedly moved and tossed around with no sign of human interference. Barbados in the early 1800s was a place of deep social tension. The island, known for its sugar plantations, was divided between white landowners and the enslaved African majority. In this charged atmosphere, the Chase family vault stood in the Christchurch parish graveyard, its thick stone walls and marble slab designed to keep everything inside undisturbed. Yet, between 1807 and 1819, every time the vault was opened for a new burial, the coffins inside were found in different positions, sometimes stacked, sometimes overturned, sometimes wedged against the door as if something inside was desperate to get out. The authorities sealed the vault each time, but nothing stopped the phenomenon. The first real sign that something was wrong came in June of 1812, when Dorcas Chase, just 12 years old, was buried in the vault. There were already 2 coffins inside, one belonging to Thomasina Goddard, the other to Mary Ann Chase. When the heavy marble slab was removed, those present noticed that Mary Ann's coffin was no longer where it had been placed. It had shifted, resting at an odd angle. Though the vault itself showed no evidence of forced entry or flooding, people whispered about the cause, but most assumed it was a mistake, or perhaps the result of careless handling during the last burial. Later that same year, the vault was opened again for the burial of Colonel Thomas Chase himself. He was a man known for his harshness, both to his family and to the enslaved people who worked his land. Some said he had died by his own hand. Others whispered about revenge. This time, the scene inside the vault was chaotic. All 3 coffins had been thrown out of place. Some even flipped over, as if something violent had happened in the sealed darkness. The workers and family members were shaken, but the vault was resealed, and the incident was quietly discussed behind closed doors. By 1816, the Chase Vault had become a source of anxiety and fascination across Barbados. That year, the burial of Samuel Brewster, an infant, brought new attention to the crypt. When the vault was opened, witnesses found the heavy lead coffins once again scattered, the marble slabs sealing the entrance showed no signs of tampering, and the cement was perfectly intact. Rumors spread quickly, fueled by the tense social climate following the island's only major slave revolt, the 1816 insurrection. Some whispered that the unrest had awakened something in the vault, while others blamed the disturbances on supernatural forces or the vengeful spirits of the Chase family. The situation escalated in July 1819, when Thomasina Clark's burial attracted the attention of both the public and colonial authorities. Lord Combermere, the governor of Barbados, decided to intervene personally. Determined to end speculation about human interference, he ordered the vault sealed with his own signet pressed into the cement and had fine sand spread across the floor to catch any footprints. When the vault was reopened days later, the seal was unbroken and the sand undisturbed, yet the coffins had been violently displaced once more. This official investigation only deepened the mystery, cementing the Chase Vault as one of the most perplexing paranormal cases in Caribbean history. After the official investigation, the Chase Vault was left with an uneasy reputation. The decision to remove the coffins and bury them separately was made out of desperation. Families wanted peace, and the authorities needed to put an end to the growing panic. The vault itself was permanently sealed, its entrance covered and left to weather in silence. But the story didn't die. Instead, it became a fixture in Barbadian folklore, a tale whispered in churchyards and retold in the local press. People avoided the area at night, and even during the day, the Chase Vault drew uneasy glances from those passing by. The fear wasn't just about ghosts or curses. It was about the sense that something in the world could remain so stubbornly unexplained. Over the years, countless theories tried to explain the Chase Vault phenomenon. Some blamed natural causes, like earthquakes or underground flooding, but Barbados wasn't prone to seismic activity, and the vault showed no signs of water damage. Others suspected human interference, but the logistics didn't add up. The lead coffins were so heavy that moving them required several strong men, and the marble slabs sealing the vault would have revealed any tampering. More supernatural explanations also circulated, from poltergeists to family curses, and even the suggestion that enslaved Africans used forbidden magic to disrupt the peace of their oppressors. Each theory reflected the anxieties and beliefs of the time, but none could fully account for what happened inside the Chase Vault. In the years that followed, the Chase Vault mystery became a magnet for speculation and debate. Some locals clung to the idea that the disturbances were a curse, perhaps triggered by the tragic deaths within the Chase family, especially the suicides of Dorcas and Colonel Thomas Chase. Others pointed to the tense social climate, suggesting that the story reflected the fears of white plantation owners during a time of slave uprisings and unrest. The belief that enslaved Africans might have used forbidden magic to disrupt the peace of their oppressors gained traction, blending local folklore with the anxieties of the colonial elite. These theories were discussed in hushed voices, passed down through generations, and became part of Barbados's rich tradition of ghost stories and unexplained phenomena. Modern researchers have tried to unravel the truth behind the Chase Vault. Natural explanations like earthquakes and underground water have been largely dismissed. Barbados is not in a seismic zone, and the vault showed no signs of flooding. The idea of human interference also seems unlikely, given the immense weight of the lead coffins and the unbroken seals each time the vault was reopened. Some skeptics argue that the story may have grown over time, evolving into legend rather than strict fact. Still, the official investigation by Lord Combermere and the IE repeated well-documented disturbances set the Chase Vault apart from ordinary ghost tales. The mystery remains unsolved, continuing to inspire curiosity and debate among historians, paranormal investigators, and anyone drawn to the unexplained. Despite the passage of 2 centuries, the legend of the moving coffins in the Chase Vault continues to haunt the collective memory of Barbados. Even today, locals speak of the vault in hushed tones, warning children not to play near the old graveyard. Researchers who visited the site in recent years found that the story remains alive among younger generations, who still feel uneasy about the tomb's reputation. The Chase Vault has become a symbol of the island's supernatural folklore, its mystery woven into the identity of Christchurch Parish and the broader Caribbean. The story's endurance is not just about the unexplained movements, but about how it reflects deeper fears, anxieties, and unresolved tensions from the colonial era. Modern interpretations of the Chase Vault mystery often focus on its socio-cultural context. Historians and folklorists argue that the legend is as much about the anxieties of the white plantocracy as it is about the supernatural. The events coincided with the 1816 slave revolt, a period when the power structure of Barbados was under threat. Some researchers suggest that the moving coffins became a metaphor for the fear of rebellion and the belief in the mystical powers of enslaved Africans. Others point to the influence of Freemasonry, noting that several key figures in the story were Masons, and that similar tales have appeared in other colonial societies. Regardless of the explanation, the Chase Vault stands as a testament to the way supernatural stories can become vehicles for social tension and cultural memory. The Chase Vault didn't just become a story for the curious or the superstitious, it became a symbol of uncertainty that lingered over the island. As the decades passed, the tale was retold in schools, whispered in churchyards, and even referenced in local newspapers whenever strange events occurred elsewhere on the island. Some families living near Christchurch Parish claimed they heard muffled noises from the vault late at night, though no one dared to investigate. For many, the Chase Vault was a reminder that not everything could be explained by reason or science, and that some mysteries were best left undisturbed. The legend even influenced how people viewed death and burial in Barbados. Families became more cautious about where and how their loved ones were interred, and the idea of a haunted tomb became part of the island's cultural identity. Over time, the Chase Vault was referenced alongside other unexplained mysteries in the Caribbean, reinforcing the belief that the region was home to forces beyond human understanding. Even tourists who visited the island were drawn to the story, eager to see the vault and hear first-hand accounts of the moving coffins. The site, now sealed and weathered by centuries, stands as a silent witness to a story that refuses to fade. As the decades slipped by, the Chase Vault's reputation only grew, drawing the attention of paranormal investigators and skeptics from around the world. Some pointed to the possibility of a curse, especially since both Dorcas and Colonel Thomas Chase were rumored to have died by suicide. The idea that restless spirits might have been responsible for the disturbances became a favorite among storytellers. Others leaned toward the theory of poltergeist activity, noting that similar unexplained movements had been reported in other parts of the world, though never with such public scrutiny or official documentation. The heavy lead coffins, the unbroken seals, and the lack of evidence for human tampering made the Chase Vault case stand out, fueling debates that continue to this day. The legend's endurance is partly due to its deep roots in Barbadian culture. Even in the 21st century, researchers found that local youth were still wary of the vault, convinced that something supernatural lingered within its walls. The story has become a fixture in the island's folklore, referenced in classrooms and retold during local festivals. It is not just a tale of moving coffins, but a narrative that reflects the anxieties, fears, and unresolved tensions of a society shaped by colonialism, slavery, and rebellion. The Chase Vault stands as a powerful symbol, a reminder that some mysteries are never fully laid to rest, and that the line between history and legend is often blurred by the shadows of the past. Historians now see the Chase Vault case as more than just a paranormal mystery. It's a window into the fears and beliefs of colonial Barbados. The early 19th century was a time of deep social division on the island, with white landowners in constant tension with the enslaved African majority. The events at the vault unfolded alongside the 1816 slave uprising, and many believe that the legend of the moving coffins reflected the anxieties of the ruling class. Some planters suspected that the disturbances were caused by the magical powers they believed enslaved Africans possessed, a fear that only grew as stories of the vault spread. This connection between the supernatural and social unrest gave the Chase Vault legend a power that outlasted the original events. The physical details of the vault itself only deepened the mystery. Built in 1724 and sealed with a massive marble slab, the crypt required 6 or 7 men to open it. Each time the vault was resealed with cement, no evidence of tampering was ever found, and the stone walls and floor showed no signs of water or earthquake damage. These facts made natural explanations, like seismic activity or flooding, seem unlikely. The sheer weight of the lead coffins and the lack of evidence for human intrusion led many to dismiss the idea of a prank or theft. Instead, the Chase Vault became a symbol of the unexplained, a story that blurred the line between history and legend, and one that still fascinates locals and visitors alike. Over time, the Chase Vault mystery attracted not only local attention, but also international curiosity. Theories multiplied as the story spread. Some suggested the disturbances were caused by seismic activity, but Barbados is not in an active earthquake zone, and no other structures nearby showed similar signs of disruption. Others speculated about underground water, yet the vault's solid foundation and the absence of watermarks made this unlikely. Human interference was also considered, but the logistics didn't fit. Moving the lead coffins required 6 to 7 men, and the marble slabs sealing the entrance would have revealed any tampering. The coffins themselves were never found open or looted, further deepening the puzzle. Supernatural explanations gained traction, especially in the context of colonial anxieties. Some believed the vault was cursed due to the tragic deaths of Dorcas and Colonel Thomas Chase, both rumored to have died by suicide. Others pointed to poltergeist activity or the supposed magical powers of enslaved Africans, reflecting the fears of the white plantocracy during an era of social upheaval. The legend was further reinforced by similar stories, such as the mysterious movements reported in the Irvine tomb, also in Barbados. Over the years, the Chase Vault became more than a local curiosity. It evolved into a symbol of the island's haunted past and a powerful piece of Caribbean paranormal folklore. The turning point in the Chase Vault saga came in July 1819, when the burial of Thomasina Clark drew unprecedented public and official attention. Lord Combermere, the governor of Barbados, personally oversaw the proceedings, determined to put an end to the rumors of supernatural interference. He ordered that the vault be sealed with his own signet pressed into the cement and had fine sand spread across the floor to catch any footprints. When the vault was reopened days later, the seal remained unbroken and the sand was undisturbed, yet the heavy lead coffins had once again been violently displaced. This official investigation, widely reported and witnessed by members of the Barbadian elite, added a new layer of credibility and intrigue to the case, fueling even greater fascination and speculation. Faced with the continued disturbances and the inability to find a rational explanation, the family and authorities decided to remove all the coffins from the Chase Vault and bury them individually elsewhere. The vault itself was permanently sealed, left as a silent monument to the mystery that had gripped the island. Over time, the legend of the moving coffins became woven into the fabric of Barbadian folklore, retold by generations and referenced in local culture as a symbol of the unexplained. The story's endurance owes much to its unique blend of historical fact, official documentation, and the deep social anxieties of colonial Barbados. A reminder that some mysteries, no matter how thoroughly investigated, refuse to be solved. In the decades that followed, the Chase Vault story was retold in books, newspapers, and eventually online forums dedicated to unsolved mysteries. Researchers and skeptics revisited the evidence, analyzing every detail. The heavy lead coffins, the unbroken marble slab, the absence of water or earthquake damage, and the official investigation led by Lord Combermere. Some pointed out that similar stories had emerged elsewhere, such as the Irvine tomb in Barbados and even a case in Estonia, where investigators also used fine powder to detect intruders. These parallels suggested that the legend of moving coffins might be part of a broader pattern of supernatural folklore, shaped by anxieties and social tensions unique to each place and time. Despite countless theories, the Chase Vault mystery remains unsolved. For some, it's a cautionary tale about the limits of science and reason in the face of the unknown. For others, it's a window into the fears that haunted colonial societies, especially the anxieties of white landowners during times of slave resistance and rebellion. The story endures in Barbados, where locals still avoid the old vault, and in the wider world, where it stands as a symbol of the unexplained. The Chase Vault legend is more than a ghost story. It's a reminder of how history, folklore, and the supernatural can become entangled, leaving us with questions that may never be answered. What makes the Chase Vault legend so enduring is not just the mystery itself, but how it mirrors the anxieties and beliefs of colonial Barbados. The early 19th century was a period marked by deep social tension, especially between the white Anglican plantocracy and the enslaved African majority. The Chase Vault disturbances unfolded during the same years as the 1816 slave revolt, amplifying fears among the ruling class that their world was being upended by forces they could neither see nor control. Some planters whispered that the moving coffins were the work of African magic, a supernatural retaliation for generations of cruelty and oppression. This belief reflected a broader anxiety that the established social order could be undermined by powers they didn't understand. The official investigation led by Governor Lord Combermere in 1819 only deepened the enigma. After spreading fine sand on the vault's floor and sealing the entrance with his personal signet, the authorities returned to find the coffins again displaced, without any footprints or signs of forced entry. With natural explanations like earthquakes and flooding ruled out, and human interference deemed nearly impossible due to the vault's construction and the weight of the lead coffins, the legend took on a life of its own. Over time, the Chase Vault became a fixture of Barbadian folklore and a symbol of unexplained phenomena in the Caribbean, its story retold by generations and referenced in studies of both the supernatural and the island's complex colonial history. The Chase Vault legend stands out not only because of the physical impossibility of the events, but also due to the historical and social context in which they occurred. Early 19th century Barbados was a British colony defined by sharp divisions between white landowners and the enslaved African majority. The years when the coffins were found displaced coincided with the only major slave revolt on the island, amplifying the anxieties of the ruling class. Many locals believed that the disturbances in the vault were not just random acts, but a sign of deeper unrest, an omen that the established order could be challenged by forces both seen and unseen. The belief that enslaved Africans possessed supernatural powers capable of disrupting even the sanctity of the grave became woven into the legend, reflecting the fears of a society on the brink of upheaval. The physical characteristics of the Chase Vault only deepened the mystery. The crypt was partially buried, accessible by a narrow stone staircase, and sealed by a marble slab so heavy it required several men to move. After each burial, the entrance was sealed with cement, making human intrusion unlikely without leaving obvious traces. Yet, every time the vault was opened for a new burial, The heavy lead coffins were found in disarray, sometimes overturned, sometimes wedged against the door. No signs of forced entry, flooding, or earthquake damage were ever found. These details made natural explanations seem improbable and contributed to the story's transformation into a lasting piece of Caribbean folklore. Over the years, the Chase Vault story has become more than just a local legend. It's a piece of Barbados's cultural identity. The tale is told in classrooms, whispered in graveyards, and passed down in families as a warning about the boundaries between the living and the dead. Even now, the vault remains sealed, hidden behind weathered stone, and few dare to linger near it after dark. The fear isn't just about restless spirits or curses, but about the unsettling idea that some things in this world will never be understood. For many on the island, the Chase Vault is a reminder that the past is never truly buried, and that the anxieties of another era can echo through generations. The story has also inspired comparisons to similar mysteries in other parts of the world, like the Irvine tomb in Barbados and a case in 19th century Estonia, where investigators also used fine powder to detect intruders. These parallels suggest that the phenomenon of moving coffins might be part of a broader pattern. Stories that emerge in times of social tension, when communities are searching for explanations for the inexplicable. In Barbados, the legend of the Chase Vault endures not just because of what happened, but because of what it represents: the collision between history, fear, and the human need to make sense of the unknown. Today, the Chase Vault stands as more than just a sealed tomb in an old cemetery. It's a symbol of Barbados's enduring fascination with the unknown. The story of the moving coffins has become a staple of local folklore, retold by guides, historians, and families as a warning and a curiosity. School children grow up hearing about the vault, and many locals admit to feeling uneasy, even walking past its weathered entrance. The legend's persistence is a testament to its power, not only as a supernatural mystery, but as a reflection of the island's history, marked by colonial rule, social upheaval, and the ever-present tension between different communities. In recent years, researchers and skeptics have revisited the Chase Vault, searching for rational explanations or hidden clues. Some argue that the legend may have grown from misunderstandings or embellishments over time, while others see it as a classic example of how supernatural stories emerge in times of social anxiety. Regardless of the truth, the Chase Vault remains a powerful reminder that some mysteries resist easy answers. Its story continues to inspire debate, fear, and fascination, blurring the line between history and legend and ensuring that the moving coffins of Barbados will never be completely forgotten. The Chase Vault legend has inspired countless theories, both natural and supernatural, each reflecting the anxieties and beliefs of different eras. Some researchers have pointed to seismic activity or underground water as possible causes, but these explanations fall short. Barbados is not in an active earthquake zone, and the vault's solid foundation showed no signs of flooding or structural damage. Human interference was also considered, yet the logistics seemed impossible. The lead coffins were so heavy that it took several men to move just one, and the marble slabs sealing the entrance would have revealed any tampering. The fact that the coffins were never found open or looted only deepened the mystery, leaving even the most skeptical observers unsettled. Supernatural explanations have always been popular, especially given the context of colonial Barbados. Some believed the disturbances were the result of a curse, perhaps connected to the tragic deaths of Dorcas and Colonel Thomas Chase, both rumored to have died by suicide. Others whispered about poltergeist activity or the supposed magical powers of enslaved Africans, echoing the fears of the white elite during a period of social upheaval and rebellion. Over the years, the Chase Vault has become more than just a story of moving coffins. It is a symbol of the island's haunted past, a reminder of unresolved tensions and a powerful piece of Caribbean folklore that continues to fascinate, disturb, and inspire. The Chase Vault legend continues to echo through Barbadian culture, not just as a tale of supernatural intrigue, but as a mirror, reflecting the anxieties and divisions of its time. The early 19th century was marked by profound social unrest, with the white Anglican landowners living in constant tension with the enslaved African majority. The events at the Chase Vault unfolded alongside the 1816 slave uprising, a moment that shook the foundations of the island's power structure. For many, the unexplained movements inside the vault became a symbol of a world where the established order could be challenged by unseen forces, whether supernatural or rooted in the collective fears of a society on the edge of change. Even today, the story serves as a reminder of how folklore can absorb and transform historical trauma. The legend of the moving coffins is retold in classrooms and whispered in graveyards, its details evolving with each generation. For some, it is a cautionary tale about the dangers of ignoring the past. For others, it is proof that certain mysteries are meant to remain unsolved. The Chase Vault stands as a silent witness to the complexities of Barbadian history, its sealed entrance marking the boundary between what is known and what will always remain hidden. The Chase Vault legend is now woven into the very fabric of Barbadian identity, standing as a powerful example of how supernatural stories can reflect deeper social anxieties. The tale isn't just about lead coffins inexplicably moving inside a sealed tomb. It's about a society grappling with unrest, rebellion, and the fear that the order imposed by the colonial elite could be shattered by invisible forces. The events at the vault occurred in the shadow of the 1816 slave uprising, a time when the white plantocracy felt their authority slipping. For many, the mystery of the moving coffins became a metaphor for the uncertainty and instability that haunted Barbados during this turbulent period. Over the years, the story has inspired not only local folklore but also international curiosity. Researchers, historians, and paranormal enthusiasts continue to debate the possible causes, from seismic activity and underground water to curses, poltergeists, and the supposed magical powers of enslaved Africans. The Chase Vault has even been linked to other mysterious cases, like the Irvine tomb in Barbados and similar legends in Estonia, suggesting a universal human fascination with the unexplained. Today, the vault remains sealed and undisturbed, a silent monument to a mystery that refuses to be solved and a reminder that some questions, no matter how much we investigate, may never have clear answers. The Chase Vault story has become an inseparable part of Caribbean folklore, its details passed down through generations as both a warning and a curiosity. For many in Barbados, the legend is less about the literal movement of coffins and more about the island's struggle with its own history, an era marked by slavery, rebellion, and the collision of different cultures and beliefs. The vault, now permanently sealed, stands as a silent monument to these unresolved tensions. Locals still avoid the site after dark, and its reputation as a place where the boundaries between the natural and supernatural blur remains strong. The fear that lingers isn't just about restless spirits, but about the unsettling realization that some mysteries, rooted in the traumas of the past, are destined to remain unsolved. Over time, the legend has inspired new interpretations and adaptations, appearing in books, documentaries, and even local festivals. Researchers continue to debate the possible causes, but the story's endurance speaks to something deeper, a collective need to process historical anxieties through narrative. The Chase Vault is now referenced alongside other unexplained phenomena, both in Barbados and abroad, reinforcing the idea that every culture has its own version of the inexplicable. In the end, the moving coffins serve as a powerful metaphor for the ways in which history refuses to stay buried, and how the echoes of the past can shape the fears and imaginations of future generations. The Chase Vault legend has also sparked comparisons with other mysterious cases, both in Barbados and abroad. One of the most notable parallels is the Irvine tomb, another burial site on the island where a lead coffin was found in a strange position decades after its original interment. These stories, along with similar legends from places as far as Estonia, suggest that the phenomenon of moving coffins might tap into a universal human fascination with the unexplained. In each case, the details differ, but the underlying themes remain the same: anxiety about death, fear of the unknown, and the sense that some boundaries between life and death, or between order and chaos, can be breached in ways we cannot fully understand. In Barbados, the Chase Vault has become a cultural touchstone, referenced in books, documentaries, and even local festivals. Its story is retold to new generations as both a warning and a source of pride, a reminder that the island's history is filled with mysteries that defy easy explanation. The vault itself, now sealed and weathered by centuries, stands as a monument to the enduring power of folklore. For locals and visitors alike, it represents the intersection of history, legend, and the supernatural, ensuring that the mystery of the moving coffins will remain a living part of Barbados's identity for years to come. The Chase Vault legend has endured for over 2 centuries, not just as a curiosity, but as a living part of Barbados's collective memory. The story is still told in homes, schools, and even by tour guides who lead visitors past the old cemetery in Christchurch Parish. For many locals, the vault is more than a relic. It is a symbol of the island's haunted past and a reminder of the unresolved tensions that shaped Barbadian society. The fear and fascination surrounding the moving coffins reflect deeper anxieties about power, rebellion, and the unknown. Anxieties that were especially acute during the years of slavery and colonial rule. Even today, the site is avoided at night, and some families warn children not to linger near its entrance, as if the mystery itself might still be contagious. The influence of the Chase Vault extends beyond Barbados, inspiring similar tales in other cultures and reinforcing the universal human fascination with the unexplained. Stories of moving coffins, mysterious tombs, and supernatural disturbances have appeared in other Caribbean islands, and even as far away as Estonia, where investigators once used fine powder to catch intruders in a haunted crypt. These parallels suggest that such legends serve a purpose. They help communities process collective fears, historical trauma, and the boundaries between the natural and supernatural. In Barbados, the Chase Vault remains a powerful metaphor for the island's complex history, a sealed tomb that holds not just bodies, but the secrets, fears, and stories of generations. The Chase Vault remains to this day an enduring symbol of the unknown in Barbados. Its sealed entrance, hidden beneath layers of stone and history, stands as a silent challenge to anyone seeking certainty in a world full of unanswered questions. The story of the moving coffins is not just a tale of the supernatural. It is a mirror reflecting the fears, hopes, and unresolved tensions of a society shaped by colonialism, slavery, and rebellion. For generations, the legend has served as both a warning and a comfort, reminding people that some mysteries are meant to be respected, not solved. As time passes, the Chase Vault continues to fascinate locals and visitors alike. It is a place where history, folklore, and the supernatural collide, a reminder that the past is never truly at rest. The moving coffins of Barbados have become more than just a story. They are part of the island's identity, woven into its culture and memory. Whether the events inside the vault were the result of natural forces, human intervention, or something beyond explanation, the legend endures, inviting each new generation to wonder, question, and imagine. In the end, Perhaps the true power of the Chase Vault lies not in the mystery itself, but in its ability to connect us to the deepest parts of our collective imagination. So, what do you think really happened inside the Chase Vault? Was it a curse, a warning from the past, or something even more terrifying that defies explanation? Share your theories and experiences in the comments. I want to know what chills ran down your spine as you watched this story unfold. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next true mystery that could change the way you see the world. Your support means you'll always be the first to uncover the darkest secrets and most disturbing truths. And don't go anywhere. The next video on your screen dives even deeper into the world's most haunting unsolved cases. Click it now if you dare. Thanks for watching. I'm Jack, and I'll see you in the shadows.